Well, good afternoon again. Thank you all so much for joining us today to discuss the Part-Time Master of Social Work program at the Brown School at Washington University in St. Louis. My name is Sarah Lucan. I use she, her pronouns, and I am an Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the Brown School. I'm joined by my colleague, Marcia Ford, who I'll have introduce herself in a moment as well. And then she's going to take us off with the presentation. But Marcia, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to see everyone joining us today. My name is Marcia Ford. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a professor of practice and the director of the Part-Time MSW program at the Brown School. I'm also a proud Brown School alum.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Just a few housekeeping notes before I turn it back to Marcia. Today's session is being recorded. It is, as you might notice, a Zoom meeting. And so if you could please keep yourself on mute during the presentation. You are very welcome to unmute yourself during the Q&A portion of the session to ask questions, or you can use the chat feature to submit your questions at any time. If we don't have a chance to answer your question today, please reach out to us. You can send an email to brownadmissions@woostel.edu. And with that, I will turn it back to Marcia.
All right. Thanks so much, Sarah. Well, again, welcome. I'm very excited to share with you as we begin this school year at the Brown School that we are celebrating 100 years of excellence in social work education. As we look forward to the next 100 years, we are dedicated to equity, to ensure fairness and justice for all individuals and communities, and we're committed to impact, to create meaningful and measurable improvements in people's lives. So I'm going to share with you a little information about our part-time program this afternoon. Our part-time MSW program may be completed in 3 full years, which includes summer courses. Our full-time program is typically 2 years. The part-time program extends that to 3 full years, including summers. Our curriculum was designed to be different and has been thoughtfully planned to address contemporary social challenges in unique and impactful ways. At the Brown School, we emphasize evidence-based practice, where decisions and interventions are informed by the best available research to support individual client care, as well as larger policy and community interventions. Our curriculum focuses on equity across multiple dimensions, such as social, racial, economic, environmental, and health dimensions, to ensure that our students are aware of the systemic nature of inequality and they're prepared to create solutions in public policies, community development, and individual care settings. Our curriculum also teaches students to recognize and challenge power imbalances and systemic oppression with social structures and professional practice. We integrate insights from various fields such as public health, urban planning, education, and law to create well-rounded solutions to social issues and prepare students for multidisciplinary collaborations. And finally, we have embedded flexibility in our program. We allow students to tailor their learning experiences while they balance other work or life commitments. In the part-time program, students may choose from 3 concentration areas of study: the mental health concentration, social impact leadership concentration, or the children, youth, and families concentration. The mental health concentration prepares students with a clinical focus to address mental health challenges in individuals as well as systems. The social impact leadership concentration prepares students who typically have some experience working in the human services sector to be leaders and drivers of positive social impact across a variety of sectors. The children, youth, and family concentration helps students develop an understanding of how multiple systems impact child development and family functioning. The part-time MSW program was conceptualized to meet the demands of working professionals. We have developed a program that is accessible and maximizes the benefits of both in-person and remote-based learning methods. Our intent with this format is to allow a great deal of flexibility, helping you reach your career goals while you balance the demands of being a student with families or perhaps work or other life commitments. Our program is based on a cohort model. That means that the students with whom you enter the program will be your classmates in most of your classes as you progress through a sequenced curriculum. Our classes meet in a variety of settings. During in-person courses, you will benefit from the dynamic nature of in-person learning, as well as the connections you make with your fellow cohort members and instructors. Some classes are also offered remotely, and for those classes, you would attend courses online, synchronously or live at the same time with your classmates and your instructor. You may be asked to complete asynchronous content that you do independently via recorded lectures or designated readings or assignments. Additionally, the program takes advantage of intensive weekend learning formats in which students meet over a series of weekends during the semester. The sequencing of the classes for the part-time program allows students to take up to 8 credit hours each semester. The classes that part-time students take are the same courses that full-time students experience. We don't have any difference in our curriculum or the course offerings between full and part-time students. Depending on your concentration and the electives you choose, you will have classes that are filled with colleagues from your part-time cohort as well as full-time students. So let's shift to the academic and student support you will receive as a student in the Brown School. A cornerstone of social work education is field education or practicum. Field education is where students integrate classroom knowledge with real-world experience to acquire and demonstrate the skills and competencies that are fundamental to social work practice. Students will complete 960 hours, which translates to 8 credits of practicum across foundation and concentration practicum experiences. The primary focus of the practicum experience is to put the skills you learn in your coursework into practice at your practicum site under the supervision of field faculty advisors and field site instructors. At the Brown School, students may select their practicum site from over 400 partner organizations with the opportunity to complete practicum hours at their current place of employment. We partner with a variety of agencies across the St. Louis region to provide students with experience at the micro, the meso, and the macro levels of practice. From day one at the Brown School, you will have a team of advisors working to support you. We engage in holistic advising for all MSW students. This means that you will interact with 3 to 4 different advisors during your studies at the Brown School. Your academic advisor will ensure that you're registered for the classes that you need and provide you with information regarding academic support resources. Your faculty advisor would be a faculty member who is an expert in your chosen concentration of study. They will help you connect those classroom experiences to real-world opportunities and also help advise you regarding your career goals. And then finally, you will be assigned a field faculty advisor who will assist you with your practicum search and your field experience. Now, in addition to your advisors, you will also have a team of supporters guiding you through the MSW program. All of these programs and offices are located within the Brown School and are dedicated solely to serving MSW students. Our WashU students also receive support through our Center for Career Engagement. Staff in this center work with students to provide support in their search for jobs, including resume building, career fairs, and mock interview opportunities. Our Brown School graduates are leaders, change makers, and innovators. And Brown School alumni are driving social change in a variety of settings and positions. I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah now, who will tell you a little bit more about the specifics of the admission process.
Great, thanks, Marcia. So first, I'm going to talk about funding your degree. We know that when it comes to deciding to go to graduate school, understanding the costs and options can help you to really make that a reality. And so to begin, this is an overview of the tuition and fees for the part-time MSW program. These fees reflect the 2024-2025 academic year, so the current year that we are in. Right now, the program costs $1,600 per credit hour. And in the part-time program, you will be enrolled in as many as 18 to 24 credit hours per year. So you can estimate that your total annual cost for the program will be between $28,800 and $38,400. Tuition and fee costs change annually, so those numbers will shift for the 2025-2026 academic year, but this gives you a good sense of the cost that you can expect. We do have a number of options for helping to fund your degree. There is institutional funding available to students in the form of Brown School scholarships. These are partial awards only, and they are awarded at admission and cover part of your tuition to the program. The award gets dispersed evenly across your time at the Brown School, and then the rest of tuition costs can be covered by a combination of the following options. There are external grants or scholarships you can pursue, and in fact, the WashU Graduate Center maintains a pretty robust database of external funding opportunities for you to pursue. There is a tuition assistance program for anyone who is a current WashU employee. There are also part-time employment opportunities, both on campus or if you are currently employed full-time. You can certainly find ways to balance the part-time program while still maintaining your full-time or part-time employment. And then, of course, personal savings, family support, and other benefits that you may get through employers, military, if you're military affected or military connected, and then federal student aid is another option for our part-time students. Some important dates and details for you to note as you begin the application process. Applications are now open for the fall 2025 admission cycle. Our application requirements are as follows: a personal statement, which is 2 pages, single-spaced, where you'll tell us your why and what it is that you're hoping to pursue and accomplish by pursuing a Master of Social Work. You'll submit 2 letters of references. Those can come from either professional references or academic references, a resume or CV, and we always recommend that you include as much information and experience on that resume as possible because we want to see all of the experiences that you have. And you'll also have transcripts submitted. Those can be unofficial transcripts from your undergraduate institution. There is an interview component that is done asynchronously. So you'll do that on your own time through a platform that we use called Kira. And then to be considered for scholarship from the Brown School, you will be asked to complete a scholarship form and submit an application fee finally for $50 for the application. Our early review deadline is December 1st. So if you apply by December 1, that means that you will be given priority consideration for scholarship that's available from the Brown School, and you will get an admission decision back from us no later than February 1st. So here are those application deadlines again. Again, December 1 is our early review deadline that gives that early decision back to you by February 1. The next deadline is March 1, which is our priority review deadline, and you still have priority consideration given for scholarship. Admission decisions are turned around within 6 to 8 weeks of when you complete your application. So keep that in mind when considering these deadlines. And then after March 1, we go into rolling admissions until the final deadline of June 1st. We do have some upcoming sessions. Another one of our part-time MSW introductions will be held on October 22nd at 6 p.m. If you would like some tips for submitting a strong application, we are hosting a virtual info session on October 23rd to talk through those tips. And then November 13th, we'll have a Ask Us Anything info session. But with that, I want to now pause and see if there are any questions. Looks like a couple are coming through the chat, and so we'll start there. The first question is, can you start as a part-time student and finish as a full-time student? The answer is no, you must stay within one of the tracks. If you start in the part-time program, you do need to stay in the part-time program and maintain that. And that is simply because of how courses are sequenced. Because of the cohort model of the part-time program, it can be really difficult to switch to the full-time program because of course offerings. It's sequenced in a way that it will follow the timeline that you need to complete the courses on time. The next question is, are graduate assistantships available to part-time students? Yes, you can apply to graduate assistantships. I will say at the Brown School and across Washington University, most assistantships are in the form of a research assistantship, and those come with an hourly paid rate as opposed to what you may be thinking of with a tuition remission. Those types of assistantships are not available to master's level students typically. Most of our graduate assistantships, again, are research assistantships that are available to master's level students. And then the next question, great questions too, by the way. Thank you so much for submitting these. Can you give me an idea of what percentage of tuition is typically covered through Brown School scholarships for students? What is the amount based on? Great question. So as I mentioned, it is a partial tuition award. Most of our students, the average aid amount is around 40% of costs. It can be a little higher, it can be a little lower. The amount is based on a variety of factors, both merit and need. And when you complete the scholarship form, we'll ask you some questions about your specific financial situation, as well as any sort of qualifications that may make you eligible for certain types of scholarship. There are a number of scholarships listed, and I can link to those too, so you can get a sense of the types of things that we're looking for when it comes to experience and your personal goals that we may also take into consideration when thinking about and looking at your eligibility for scholarship, but it is based on a combination of those factors. Right, and the next question, does the Brown School have an accelerated program allowing you to take classes while finishing your Bachelor of Science degree? There is not a program per se like that. If you are enrolled in Washington University's undergraduate program, there is a 3-2 program that you could pursue, but that is only for current WashU undergrads in a bachelor's program in the College of Arts and Sciences. That allows you to complete your bachelor's degree in 3 years and then do the master's program in 2 years. That is with the full-time program though too. So I also want to make that distinction that the 3-2 option is only for full-time students. There is not an option for part-time students. I'll ask Marcia to answer this question because I've been talking a lot. So I'll turn it to you, Marcia. The
Absolutely.
next question
Absolutely.
is, no, I love these questions. Thank you,
They're
Jenica.
great questions.
Talk about the typical course times. Are they evenings during the week? How many hours? Only weekends? How long
Right.
do they meet on the weekends?
Yeah. Great questions, because that's like, those are core questions, right? That's okay. When I get there, what is this going to look like for me? Our evening courses are typically run from 5:30 to 8:30 in the evening for a 3 credit hour class. So if you know, have one of the typical required classes and foundation or concentration, those are typically 3 hours, and evening classes are from 5:30 to 8:30. On the weekends, that will vary just a little bit. Typically, they are scheduled Saturday and Sunday, on 3 to 4 different weekends through the semester. So depending on whether it's 3 weekends or 4 weekends, your time during the given weekend might vary a little bit, 9 to 3 or 8 to 4, but typically all day, Saturday and Sunday. We have made a commitment that we try as hard as we possibly can to offer one in-person and one virtual class each semester. You are limited to 8 hours total each semester, and that's roughly 2 classes. And then you'll add on practicum hours when you get a little further into the program. So we love to see that balance of one evening class and one weekend class, but there will be semesters, because of the course sequencing, in which you might have 2 weekly virtual classes or 2 weekly in-person classes, but they're always scheduled in the evening. I hope that makes sense. If not, please ask for clarification. Yeah, I think I got that question. I'm looking at the next questions. The transfer credits. If you already have a master's degree, would we have to be accepted before knowing what classes might transfer? Or do you take all courses regardless? We do. Do you want to feel? I think your office does that, Sarah, right? Looking at credits and
Yeah, and I am a little unclear on what that would mean for part-time students specifically. For the full-time program, there is a transfer credit process. You can have up to 9 credit hours transferred from another existing master's degree. You are admitted to the program first. So to answer that question, you do get admitted to the program, and then there's a process for which you can request to have your master's credits evaluated. I will say though, if it is a degree that you have already completed, we are not able to accept those credits. The credits can only come from a program where you took courses but did not complete the degree. So hopefully
and
that's helpful.
and we can do that. We've actually done that for a couple of part-time students in the past.
Great.
And I might mention also that there are 2 classes that you have the option of trying to test out of, just like full-time students: human behavior and research methods. So if you've had in undergraduate school, perhaps a strong research base, or you were a psychology major, so you've had lots of human behavior studies, we do give you the opportunity to test out of those, and then we can plug in electives or work with your curriculum sequencing to make sure that you're still finishing on time. Maybe I'll field the next question. How does a social work degree differ from a master's in counseling? Our social work degree really focuses on equity, social justice, looking holistically at an individual. Whereas my experience in working with people who have graduated with a master's degree in counseling, excellent counselors, great preparation. We've got lots of great programs in the St. Louis area. but that holistic perspective is sometimes missing. Social workers and social work education really looks to integrate aspects of the individual's community and looks at issues of equity, anti-oppressive practices. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Marcia.
Sure. I'll skip down to, well, I'm going to, what do you want? I know that there's a question about individualized specialization, and we actually only have the 3 concentrations. We don't offer an individualized specialization in the part-time program, and that is again due to the nature of the sequencing, which takes into account which courses are offered in which semesters, and we don't have the ability to offer an individualized specialization at this time.
And I will say too, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Marcia, but you can use your electives to take a variety of different courses outside of your designated concentration. It can be a little tricky because depending on when courses are offered, it may or may not work with your own schedule. So that's just something that you'll have to work with your academic advisor to ensure that the courses you want to take are available at times that you can take them, but there could be options for that. And then there's a question about having a degree, an MBA from India. Does it affect my strength of my application for a Master of Social Work since I already finished the degree? I think that certainly having any type of experience or educational background is going to be something that's going to be looked upon favorably in your application. We take a very holistic approach to reviewing applications, and so we are going to take into consideration the fact that you have advanced education from another graduate degree program, and that can certainly add to the strength of your application. Of course, I am unable to guarantee any admissibility just by that, but having those extra, types of experiences or academic credentials can certainly help your application and would not hinder your application in any way. All right. Well, we are at time. It is 12:30, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time here. Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. If we didn't get to your question or you had something a little more specific that you wanted to ask, please feel free to email Marcia or myself. You can also reach out to the admissions office at Brown Admissions, and I'll go back to that page too. Oops. Oh, it won't let me. Brown Admissions at worcester.edu. Thank you all so much. Have a great afternoon.